Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show. Real talk, big opinions, and fearless conversations. From the front lines of politics to the latest in pop culture. From breaking sports headlines to the stories that move the world. Nothing's off limits, and nobody's holding back. Arrington Gavin is here to break it down, build it up, and keep it all the way real. So turn it up, lean in, and let's get into it. This is the Arrington Gavin Show.
What is happening, my friends? What is going on? What is going on? Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show, your go-to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day, whether it is politics, sports, pop culture, or the latest buzz. Look, we're diving deep and keeping it real. So please do me a favor, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. Look, my friends, on today's conversation, we're going to talk about these recent protests / riots happening in Los Angeles. The ICE protests that have been we've been seeing across our television screens in the recent days. The back and forth between the left and the right. The comparisons of January 6th in this, because obviously, you know, the right feel as though that, see, this right here is what a riot really is. But what January 6th was a peaceful protest. Blah, 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 blah. And of course, the left has their counter with that as well. Look, I'm going to try and dissect both, but I'm also going to, again, talk more of what we have been seeing in recent days. In addition to that, more trouble in paradise between Musk and the Trump administration. Yes, with some more juicy news that has been coming out of the woodworks from there. Let's see what else we have in addition to that. Also, ABC, one of ABC news correspondents, Terry Moran, suspended. You want to know why? Well, we'll talk about it here on the show. We have been seeing such a shakeup in the media space, specifically the corporate media. We're seeing a lot of what you can say scared media. I would consider the corporate media is they're intimidated by this administration. It's since then you're starting to see a more growing theme with those that come from the corporate side to going independent. So we're going to talk about it here all on the Arrington Gavin Show. Again, I truly appreciate for those who have taken the time, 1 hour of your time, to tune into the Arrington Gavin Show. I am your friend, your host, Arrington Gavin, coming to you on this wonderful evening. Do me a favor. Please do me a favor. Be sure to follow us on all social media platforms, those that we are that we happen to be on, like Instagram, Blue Sky, X, as well as Twitter. Well, no, X is Twitter. I said X and Twitter. No, X, formerly known as Twitter. Also subscribe to our Substack page, where we get to dive deep on some more stories that we don't have the time to share here on the show. We take it to Substack, so be sure to follow us on there. I truly appreciate it. Also, I want to shout out our viewers and listeners across the digital and radio airways. Thank you so much for those who happen to tune into the show by way of YouTube. If you haven't yet, do me a favor. Yep, go ahead. Right there. No, there we go. Right there. Like, subscribe. I truly appreciate it. Share with a friend, share with family. You can also stream the show on Rumble. You can also stream us on Goatverse TV. Do me a favor, download the Goatverse TV app today. It's available on the App Store, Google Play Store, Roku, as well as Amazon Fire. It's an amazing app, an amazing rising streaming channel, growing streaming channel. And so do me a favor, be sure to get it. Be sure to download that. You can also listen to the show, available on all major podcast platforms. You can also listen to us on the radio airwaves. I want to shout out our fam out there in the New Orleans area. Listen to us right now on WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about. Also, shout out our fam out there in the Metro Atlanta area. Listen to us right now on WDJY 99.1 FM, Straight Talk. WBOK, you can tune into the Arrington Gavin show Monday through Fridays, weeknights at 7 p.m. Central Time. And then those in the listen to us on WDJY, you can listen to the Arrington Gavin show Monday through Fridays at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So again, I truly appreciate it, family. What else do I got going on for you today? Oh, so being that I wanted to discuss everything happening under these with these riots, right? These riots happening in Los Angeles. I've decided to just give you a bit of a mindset because I'm always doing fun facts to kind of start it off, but I kind of want just to start with some slight statistics. So, and it was just out of curiosity. I'm like, damn, we have been witnessing protests like it's just so normal, especially under Trump administrations. Has it just been me? I mean, the first administration we had protests, second administration we have a lot of protests. I'm like, wow. So I wanted to kind of backtrack and look at the comparisons amongst administrations. It says here and I guess this can kind of take the place for fun facts. So I'm gonna go ahead and put up our banner for our fun fact of the day because these are facts. At least with this I'm discussing. It says here during Trump's first term from 2017 to 2021, the U.S. saw a surge in protest activity. Nearly 60,000 protests and marches occurred between January 2017 and Inauguration Day of 2021, by far one of the most protest-rich presidencies in U.S. history. A separate news analyst data sets that U.S. protests reported over 42,000 distinct protest events in the same period. Now, I wanted to compare this to other administrations. So I'm going to just say during Obama's second term, it says here protest was much lower. No comparable national tally exists. But reports suggest events were more localized and fewer in numbers, not reaching tens of thousands annually. Now, after Trump, the second term and early 2025, says here during the early months of Trump's second presidency, over 1,200 protests in 50 states occurred within the first 75 days, with millions of protests protesting various policies. The list goes on and on and on. And then I have to also speak about Biden, right? Biden's first 100 days, crowd recorded around roughly 5,300 protests since the inauguration on January 20th of 2021. Now, among these, 60% were left-leaning and 31% were nonpartisan and 8% was right-leaning. Now, as you know, the bulk of the protests happening under the Biden administration was the Free Palestine marches, which drew 100,000 to 300,000 participants in D.C., with many parallel rallies nationwide. Then you get on to the abortions protests. I mean, there were so many that occurred, but yet I feel as though whenever there's a protest, that means there's some issues, correct? Because folks don't just protest just to protest. Folks protest with a cause. Now, don't get me wrong. Do I get tired of protests here and there? Sometimes, and I'm not trying to, upset folks that participate in protests, because I have myself. I've participated in one, maybe two in my past. But I guess, and I have to be upfront with you all. Sometimes I just feel as though like enough is it. Like, what is this gonna do? What is my energy gonna do? What is me walking, yelling at this, yelling at that? What is me holding up? What is that gonna do? Right? I'm a realist. At the end of the day, how many times have we seen protests occur? How many times have we seen this and that happen? Yes, it worked out great for guys like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. The list goes on and on. Those who marched during the civil rights era. But during this day and age, has large marches ever changed policy making? I'm being upfront. Has it? It has. It might have drawn attention. It might have. Like, the only one I can think at the moment is the George Floyd protests. That's the only protest that I can think of. And in all honesty, I think if it didn't have the amount of support from the protests, I think we will still see the same outcome, because that surveillance clip said a lot. That video said a lot. But I'm always like saying, okay, what is this gonna do? Because I can't be mad at, I'll have to be honest. I've been to events where it will be protests just yelling, boisterous, doing this, doing that. I'm like, what is that? What's that causing? Besides you just yelling and not letting the other person get, like, what is that gonna help? Just to get on their nerves, just to piss them off? Come on. I mean, sometimes it just gets so old, in my opinion, y'all. It gets so old, in my opinion. But I will say, when there's protests, that means there's issues that are occurring. And since then, I've seen nothing but issues happening under a Trump administration, in my personal opinion. Nothing but chaos comes with that man and his administration. Oh, Lordy. All right, y'all. Well, look, we're going to take a quick commercial break. You are listening to the Arrington Gavin Show. We have a lot more show for you here on the show, so please don't go anywhere and do not change that dial. We'll be right back with more here on the Arrington Gavin Show.
Every man has a story to tell. Your ambitions, your achievements, your legacy. Your suit should reflect that story, crafted precisely, designed for impact, and tailored exclusively for you. We work with only the finest fabrics, luxurious wools, silk, linen, and blends from world-renowned mills in Italy, the UK, and India. These fabrics are the foundation of custom suits that exude elegance and stand the test of time. But a suit isn't just about fabric, it's about fit, and it's about confidence, and it all starts with you. When you work with me, you'll receive a personalized consultation, whether in person or over Zoom. Together, we'll explore your vision and discuss your needs. And we're gonna bring your ideas to life. My journey as a designer includes apprenticing under New York-based designer Clavon Leonard, showcasing collections at New York Fashion Week, Algeria Fashion Week, and the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. That experience is what we bring to every suit we create, from weddings to corporate events and everything in between. We specialize in crafting one-of-a-kind suits for life's most significant moments. Dapper Luke has been recognized as one of Baltimore's best menswear in 2023, and I was honored to be one of the 10 designers selected for the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. With over 900 satisfied clients, we proudly serve Virginia Beach and Baltimore, bringing world-class designs to these incredible communities. We don't just make suits, we craft confidence. Your suit will fit your body, your style, and it will tell your story. Book your free online personal consultation today. Visit www.dapperluke.com.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to.
And we still in traffic.
Don't look familiar, do I? Not in this seat.
Hey, what's that you listening to?
Here to host today.
Hey, turn it up. Yeah, this that new Goldverse app. I got you.
So y'all want to know where the goats are? They're off on the sidelines.
Looking for fresh, relevant content wherever you go?
What was the name of the app he said?
Introducing Goatverse TV.
Goatverse, that's what it's called.
The free streaming app that brings you the best podcasts, current events, and thought-provoking opinions all in one place. Download it now from the Apple Store or Play Store. In Goats, we trust.
Order your beard care products with Rugged Evolution. We're your local beard care line that supports the maintenance of your full, mature beard. Our line includes conditioning shampoos, moisturizers, balms, oils, shaving lotions, and exfoliating soaps. These products moisturize, hydrate, nourish, and have all the natural ingredients for a healthy beard. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. And remember,
Rugged is the new smooth.
Yo, welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. As I mentioned earlier, man, nothing but chaos comes with the Trump administration. Chaos, division, the back and forth, the name calling, the firings left and right. Folks never last more than a year under his administration. I mean, it's so much. It's so much. So as you know, there is this long feud, this new feud now happening between Elon Musk and Donald Trump. Now, I don't need to, rewind the tapes. You've heard both parties discuss how they feel now about each other. And it's interesting because you almost want to say Steve Bannon, Laura Loomer, they were right. From the beginning, they did not trust, they did not care for Elon Musk. They kept on saying, man, this guy can't be trusted. He has an agenda. He has this, he has that. And so obviously they ignored, because why? Money talks. Elon Musk is the richest man, not in the United States, in the world. He has well over 200 billion, maybe 300 billions of dollars in his name. All right. So of course Trump's like, ignore those two. Hi, Mr. Musk. Very nice to meet you. Very nice. Musk got so much access. He got a job in the administration. I mean, he was so happy, and now all of a sudden he is going after Trump. I mean, saying some horrendous allegations, and it just keeps on getting worse and worse. And so bad to the point where there was a moment where in the Oval Office, Musk, this was literally like towards the tail end of before you saw Trump and Elon Musk in the same room. Musk had a black eye. It was very noticeable, by the way. He had a bruise on I believe it was on his right side of his eye. And he has said he was playing with his kids, and one of his sons accidentally punched him or whatever. I'm like, right. Now comes out the news here that Elon Musk reportedly had a physical altercation with the White House, with Treasurer Secretary Scott Bessent. All right. So let me go ahead and read you this here by the Washington Post. Says here that Scott said, "You're a fraud. You're a total fraud," Bannon said in an interview. Musk then rammed his shoulder into Bessett's rib cage like a rugby player. Bessent hit him back. Multiple people stepped in to break up the scrum as the two men reached the National Security Advisory's office, and Musk was shuffled out of the West Wing. Says there that President Trump heard about it and said, "This is too much." Now, this is all a quote that I just read from Steve Bannon, far right, conservative guy, former advisor in the Trump administration's first term, a Trump loyalist. This is the words that came out of his mouth. So in all honesty, I can't say how much you could really trust Steve Bannon, but it does raise some questions, right? It's like, what really is happening back there? And of course, Trump said, Elon is not happy because of the big, beautiful bill. Why? Because he's going to be losing some. Here's the thing. It was not looking good for Elon Musk from the get-go, and for Trump, because when he puts him in charge of this Doge, and he's cutting all of this government funding, which is affecting Americans. It's affecting so many flipping people. It's not even funny. Like, here's a funny thing. This is a little side note. So when folks hear about benefits being taken away from SNAP, which is like food stamps, why do folks automatically assume that it's strictly African-American people? Yes. There are black and brown communities that are on food stamps, but there's a lot of white neighborhoods and communities as well. West Virginia, Mississippi, Tennessee, Arkansas, that's majority white and underprivileged. They are feeling the effects of these end of government funding, right? People are losing jobs left and right. So much crap has been happening because of Elon, but yet he still has these government contracts. So it's funny, the stuff that the left was saying is now starting to get repeated by the right because they're frustrated now at Elon because he's talking junk about, their fearless leader, Donald Trump. And it's just so funny, the hypocrisy. I'm telling you, politics is such a cutthroat job. I mean, that's why, folks always ask Arrington, how do you do it? How do you have folks from both parties on your show and have these, these cordial, respectable conversations? I'm like, for one, I do respect the position. I'll just flat out say it. I respect the position because not everybody can do it. Not everybody has the guts. Not everybody has the time. Not everybody has the effort, the bravery to say, I want to run and represent folks. Because it's a hard job. It is extremely hard. But, as I digress from this, it's not looking so swell. It's not looking so swell for Donald Trump nor for Elon Musk, because ever since their spat, Elon has lost around, I think they said $34 billion. I mean, Tesla stocks have been dropping down. It's interesting. It's interesting. But I just been sitting back, relaxing. I mean, it was one day they were just going back and forth on social media like a bunch of little children. Like, you said this, oh, well, take that and take that and take that. I'm like, are we really watching these grown ass men fight each other back and forth? Like, it's a lot. It's a lot happening here. Let me digress from this, y'all. And move it on to another story that has been occurring in our headlines here. So, as I mentioned earlier, the recent riots happening in Los Angeles, California, the ICE protests that have been occurring. Let me go ahead and kind of backtrack you and give you a brief story behind this. So it had the LA ICE protests refers to a series of escalating demonstrations recently happening in Los Angeles that began in June 6th of 2025 in response to aggressive ICE raids across the city, particularly in Westlake, Paramount, Compton, and downtown. Now, these raids, which included arrests at Home Depot, clothing warehouse, other locations, sparked widespread outrage among immigrant rights activists and community groups like the Union del Barrio and Churla, I believe I pronounced that right. And we've seen the clips, we've seen the surveillance videos that they've shared on our news networks that we tune into. I mean, people are just walking at random, just walking like I said every day, and all of a sudden, these mass individuals just boom grabs them and put them in a car. Like it's intense. It's intense. We've seen so many folks, known public figures. I'll share a little bit if I have some time about a famous TikToker that had got detained in Los Angeles, in Las Vegas. But it says here, just in day one, ICE arrests dozens, clashes ensued with protests throwing concrete, leading to. Now, here's the thing: we've seen a lot of good. Well, no, I'll take it back. We've seen good protests in our lives, and we've seen obviously protests that can lead very dangerous, that can end up leading to a dangerous outcome. And in my opinion, that's what I saw with this. When you start seeing folks protesting, and this is coming from the mayor of Los Angeles, when you see protesters that are walking on an interstate, right? She already said right there that's not peaceful because you're liable to get hurt. You're marching on oncoming traffic. You're causing traffic. There's a lot of issues that can happen there. Then you start seeing folks burning vehicles. Burning vehicles. Let me see if I can, for those who are watching, let me see if I can bring up a clip of one video that was actually shared by a political commentator, Keith Boykin. And let me see if I can share you that video. For those who are listening, you really wouldn't be able to you can just listen, but there is no background commentary, just the noise of the flames of like 3 burning vehicles in the middle of the street in Los Angeles. I mean, burn to a crisp. Burn to a crisp. That right there is not peaceful, y'all. That's not peaceful. I don't know what message you're trying to put here, but that's not peaceful. There's a video of a gentleman throwing rocks at oncoming law enforcement vehicles, like bam, bam, bam. Like, why? Like, that's why I get so frustrated, because there's ways to protest your right, that the issue that you have. Like, there you have people that mean well in approaches, then you have people that want to be the agitators, that want to start up something. Here's another clip, y'all. This is one that had Congresswoman Maxine Waters getting a door slammed in her face after she was trying to check on an ICE detainee at a federal building. Let me go ahead and share that clip with you. Now, I have respect for the Congresswoman, and at some point, she, I have my issues, with her. I think one big thing, and I guess, hey, this is me. You could say, hey, Arrington, you sound a bit ageist. Look, Congresswoman is 86 years old. She got to sit down. You got to give up the power. You really do. I understand your drive, your passion, but 86 is. But here, check this out.
No, I want you to. Hello. Congresswoman Waters. I just came to use my congressional authority to check on David.
Ma'am, our lobby is secure right now to all visitors.
Excuse me, I need to get in.
Contact our public affairs.
I need to get in.
What are you hoping to do, Congresswoman?
I just want to see David Werta. Right.
Would a congressperson normally be able to enter the...
Normally, yes.
What is happening here?
Well, there were some of the authorities, I don't know who they were, and I'm trying to get in to see David Werta, who they have arrested. He is the head of SEIU local union here. I don't know why he was targeted. I don't know what they're doing with him. I don't know whether they're going to deport him. I want to report back to my caucus about what's happening, but they have...
Now, to my knowledge, I've to the information I've caught on, that gentleman, David Herta, who is the president of the Employees International Union, Service Employees International Union, since then I believe has been released, but obviously the folks were unaware of why was he targeted, right? And Maxine, again, I mentioned her age. I give her a lot of credit at 86 still doing that, but it's just, it shouldn't have to get to that level. And that's the big issue. This is the big frustration that I have. Huge respect for Congressman Waters for doing so, but it's like, she shouldn't have to do that. But why is this all happening? As I mentioned before, chaos happens under a certain administration. I won't repeat the name. We're all smart here. And the sad thing is she was what's the word I'm looking for? She was pretty much blocked from entering in a federal building. She's a freaking sitting congresswoman. What is happening here? Like, what is happening here? Can someone explain that to me? Can someone explain that to me? Says here that President Trump had responded by deploying over 4,000 National Guard troops and 700 Marines, marking the first time since 1965 that federal military forces were used without a governor's consent. All right, I repeat, this was the first time since 1965 that federal military forces were used without governor's consent, a move condemned by Governor Newsom and Mayor Bass as authoritarian and challenged in federal court. Now, recently, the California Attorney General was on I forgot which network or who he was talking to, but this is what he had to share in regards to responding to Trump's move, because see, Trump don't care about Democratic led states. That's the pettiness about this guy. He would do so if it was a red state, if it was somebody that bends the knee, that kisses the ring, in, you know, as they say. But he could care less for someone that is in a especially the state of California. I mean, the capital of liberals, right? He could care less. Well, this is what the Attorney General had to say in California in response to the president doing so, this horrific act that a lot of folks, especially celebs and folks on the left, have an issue with. Let me play this clip for you.
We brought a lawsuit today on behalf of the governor in the state of California, challenging as unlawful the president's federalization of the National Guard and calling them in to Los Angeles through an executive order that he issued over the weekend. The authority that he relies on, 10 U.S.C. 12406, does not provide for his ability to call in the National Guard unilaterally. The conditions precedent that are required under the statute, either an invasion by a foreign nation or a rebellion to overthrow the U.S. government, or the regular forces not being sufficient to execute the laws of the United States. None of those elements are present. There is also a required element that the order to call in the National Guard be issued through the governor of the state at issue here. Of course, Governor Gavin Newsom, who objected to the National Guard coming in, did not issue an order. And so we believe that the action by the Trump administration is completely unlawful. We sent a letter to Pete Hegseth over the weekend. It was ignored. So we are filing a lawsuit in the Northern District of California today, seeking an order declaring the president's executive order unlawful, and also seeking injunctive relief through a restraining.
Now, y'all, let me add some more context to this. The raids has instilled fear throughout the immigrant community, with activists citing broken families and disrupted lives. There's even some civil liberty concerns. The militarized federal response to largely domestic protests has raised alarms over the federalism of National Guard and suppression of free speech. In addition to that, the solidarity protests have sprung up in cities across the U.S., in cities like San Francisco, New York, Atlanta, Seattle, and more. Now, as I mentioned, the protests are on and off. I mean, it's still they're as of right now, they are gonna. I would say this: they're not gonna stop. The protest, the anger, the frustration, that's not gonna stop. But what kills me is that folks are bringing up that are in support of Trump and what he's done. The hypocrisy is starting to show. Why? Because Trump pardoned 1,500 folks that participated in the January 6th riot. Now, I'm not trying to start making this like and deflecting what's happening in California, because in my opinion, those who are damaging property should be locked up, put in the jail. Absolutely. Those who assault law enforcement should be locked up. Now, I've seen clips where some of the law enforcement are just shooting these rubber bullets just to nobody, which is it's pretty sad. There's a clip that I shared on our social media of a reporter from, I believe she was from Australia. Her back is turned. She couldn't be 10 feet from the law enforcement, and he literally just looks, pops her, like, just like, what was that necessary? I mean, she works for a news public a national news corporation. Obviously, she's gonna report and be respectful and not be in the way of. She's in the heart of it, but she's not doing stuff to aggravate law enforcement officers. So it was pretty intense. But my thing is, and they have said all this law enforcement that he's been in military that he's been bringing to California was around like $134 billion, I believe, or would cost $134 billion. My thing is, sir, that same attitude, that same force, why wasn't that brought to January 6th? Because remember, elected officials had to wait for Trump to do something. Oh, let me go ahead and he made a little speech. Like he literally quickly made some a speech over his social media saying, stand down, do this. I'm like, wow. So he waits because he loves that power. He loves that. They already saying it, authoritarianism. I mean, it's ridiculous and it's insane. The fact that we're even comparing the two it blows my mind, because here's the thing. Regardless, if, say, for example, it's January 6th, you're walking in the Capitol. Now, you have to have like a form of approval. You have to be allowed to enter in the Capitol, especially when there's officials in there. Everybody entered there in there illegally. They entered in there illegally. Now, you could have gone there, yelled, do whatever. You don't have to damage stuff, but guess what? You're still breaking the law. You technically broke in a government building with no authority. You still broke the law. At least on one side, there's folks that they have the right to they have the right to stand in the street if they want to and do it, but they don't have the right to damage property. Burning vehicles and all that stuff. That's ridiculous. And see, right then and there, that's ammunition for the right, especially during voting. During the midterms. They're going to continue. But here's the interesting thing. There has been so much frustration amongst the strategy of how the president is doing this. I mean, like, for example, you know how we had talked about a while back. What's her name? Kristi Noem, who is the having a brain fart here. What is Kristi Noem's position? She is the Secretary of Homeland Security. Let me make sure if I'm right. Yes, Secretary of Homeland Security, who made a joke about, I wouldn't say it was a joke. She was serious. She was dead serious. Maybe we could do some form of like reality show where everybody's like fighting for the right for citizenship. I'm saying that it's not a joke because you had producers and TV writers saying actually that would work. That actually doesn't sound half bad. Then more comes out during these riots as far as who was in attendance to this, like this wannabe conservative talker now, or a part of the conservative media. Well, he's a part of conservative media now, but he's just, to me, it's ridiculous. Dr. Phil, who to me is one of the most unqualified. Like, yes, he's known for being the guy that you talk about your issues on national TV. He apparently knows all the answers. I mean, why? Because Oprah said so. And that's another thing. Oprah put on a lot of people that is showing really who they are. Once they get their money, they don't care. Look at Dr. Oz, right? And now Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil apparently, y'all, was with ICE in LA documenting the raids for conservative media, because Dr. Oz started his own network called Merritt Street Media, that he has started out of Texas. And here's the corny thing about that channel. Literally like 5 shows on there he hosts. 5. It's a lot. Says here, this report by The Guardian says here that Dr. Phil was embedded with immigration and customs enforcement officers as they carried out controversial raids in Los Angeles that led to days of protests in California. His TV network said Phil, whose full name is Phil McGraw, was with ICE before and after its agents conducted a series of raids on multiple locations across Los Angeles recently. Now, immigration advocates said at least 45 people were arrested, and the action was condemned by California governors and LA's mayors. It was the second time McGraw, a former practicing psychologist, I already think they know everything, who hosted a TV talk show for 2 decades, has been embedded with ICE this year. Now, in January, he joined the U.S. Border Czar Tom Homan in a choreographed immigration raid in Chicago, in a stunt that was criticized at the time. Now, CNN was the first to report on McGraw's presence at Los Angeles raids. McGraw was there to get a firsthand look at the targeted operations. His conservative TV channel, Merritt TV, told CNN McGraw has exclusive access to Homan before and after raids. During the Chicago raids, McGraw was on the ground with ICE and even spoke to some of the people the agencies had detained. His experience in LA was less immersive. In order to not escalate any situation, McGraw did not join and was not embedded in some of the raids. Now, a spokesperson had shared with of Merritt TV has shared with CNN. So again, this is just the whole transition now of McGraw's new venture, and that is conservative media. He has hosted exclusive sit downs with most folks on the right. Him alongside Cenk Uygur, founder of the Young Turks. They hosted a bipartisan televised event after, I think, during Trump's first State of the Union address. Again, this is a guy, Dr. Phil, is a guy who supported Donald Trump. He spoke at the controversial rally that happened at Madison Square Garden. And see, what kills me is that McGraw is that guy that he tries to act like he's so for the people and, tired of the party politics. You just, in my opinion, you can't be that person and support a guy like Trump. That's just in my opinion. And folks have criticized me, saying, "Oh, you're just a lefty. You're just a lefty. You're just a lefty." Let me break it down for you. I am an independent. INDEPEN. Like, I'm an independent. All right. Now, if you look at my voting record, I voted both sides of the aisle. Okay. Now, have I voted more on the left than on the right? Yes, I admit. But I feel as though I can't be closed in a party, and no one should. That's the part that sucks. Like, if you are a Republican and you say, I feel like voting for a Democrat, oh, you're already looked down upon and saying you're a lefty. If you freaking are a Democrat, you vote for Republican. Now they calling you Republican. Make up your damn mind, people. It's just it just always blows my mind with this. I'm gonna look at what time. I'm over here ranting over here. Let me go ahead, digress from this conversation in regards to these riots. But yeah, and it will be an ongoing kind of thing that I'll bring back on in regards to the LA riots versus the LA ICE riots versus January 6th, because it's always going to continue to be brought. I just feel as though that it's a lot of hypocrisy. See, you can protest or you can riot in the name of Donald Trump. That's exactly what it shares for me, because guys that he's pardoned, guess what? Multiple of them, a good number of them, have been breaking the law again. Why? Because that's what criminals do. They were criminals. If they can freaking do a criminal act, and now they pardon, they're like, well, shoot, I can do it again. I mean, it's just it blows my mind. Look, I'm calling balls and strikes here, right? Call a spade a spade. Those who have caused damage in Los Angeles, all the property, all this stuff, they should be locked up. Those that broke in a government building, that damaged private property, should be locked up. Now, in regards to these recent LA riots, were there people that meant well that probably was involved in the marching? I'm not saying that they vandalized. I'm saying, were there folks that did not vandalize property that were protesting that meant well? Absolutely. Now, can I personally say that someone meant well if they broke into a government building? I'm sorry. Your intentions is no. I'm gonna say no. Let me digress from this, y'all. Let's go ahead and take a quick commercial break. Look, you are tuning into the Arrington Gavin Show. Don't go anywhere, my friends. We'll be back with more here on the Arrington Gavin Show.
Jazera Learning Institute, LLC, is a hybrid learning center that strives to educate adults and children in all fields. During the day, we offer programs that are focused on developing students from pre-K to 12th grade, which includes tutoring, homeschool co-op, an after-school program, SAT, ACT prep, and many more engaging academic programs. Our adult education programs include workforce trainings, GED prep, life coaching, various seminars, and many more. Our vision is to train and educate in a positive way that will lead to a positive change in the world, one person at a time. For more information, visit us online at JazeranLearningInstitute.com or call us at 757-208-7407.
Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Order our scented beard oils and beard balms to help you maintain and grow the perfect beard. Order today. Try our men's care products like the full body exfoliating cleansing bars, body wash, smooth stash, and more. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. We're your luxury but affordable men's care line. And remember,
rugged is the new smooth.
People age 65 and older are at high risk of injury, especially from falls and car crashes. But older adults can take steps to stay safe from injury and be independent longer. Tell your doctor if you have fallen, if you worry about falling, or if you feel unsteady when standing or walking. Learn more about preventing falls and aging without injury at cdc.gov/stillgoingstrong.
Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back. I want to I'm looking at my time. This might be the last thing I can bring up. within this hour because time goes by so fast. Gosh, look, I want to talk about the founder of Latinas for Trump had recently spoke out against the sitting president, saying that she condemns the White House deportation agenda, saying that that's not what we voted for. All right, let me read this a little more in context for you. So this is reported by The Independent. Says here that a Republican state lawmaker in Florida who founded Latinas for Trump condemned the administration's sweeping immigration arrests across the state despite the president's month-long campaign that promised the largest mass deportation operation in American history. So that also scratched my head, like, what did you vote for in that case? Because he's been talking about this, in my opinion, since the man first ran for president back in 2016 or before 2015. Like, he's always, that's what he's been throughout his whole political career. So please spare me the BS, ma'am, saying there's not what we voted for. Well, what did you vote for? State Senator Ileana Garcia said, this is not what we voted for. I have always supported Trump through thick and thin. However, this is unacceptable and, check this out here, inhumane. Woo! Ooh, when you start using that word inhumane, that's major right there. That hit different. She said her Cuban refugee parents are now just as American, if not more so, than Stephen Miller, among the architects of Trump's anti-immigration agenda, demanding 3,000 daily immigrants arrest. Now, again, this administration has literally arrested folks for no reason, off the bat, just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. They've even wrongfully deported folks. They've even wrongfully deported folks. I mean, woo, this is some scary times we are living in. All right, as I continue, a quote here says, I understand the importance of deporting criminal aliens, but what we are witnessing are arbitrary measures to hunt down people who are complying with their immigration hearings, in many cases with credible fear of persecution. All driven by Miller-like desire to satisfy a self-fabricated deportation goal. This undermines the sense of fairness and justice that American people value. Now, her remarks followed arrests across the country targeting immigrants at work sites and inside courthouses, sparking widespread outrage and protests, accusing the administration of targeting immigrants who were following the law. But her statements coming from the Miami area lawmaker with a years-long history with the president seemingly ignored Trump's countless campaign promises of mass deportation operation now, and years of warnings from immigrant advocates who caution against these exact scenarios playing out across the country. Now, guys, this article came out before the protests had occurred, so this was kind of like leading in to these protests happening in California. Now, Garcia has supported Trump since his first campaign in 2016 and created Latinas for Trump to rally Hispanic women behind the president. Now, let me pause right there. I'll be honest, I've never been a fan of the like culture names that like groups that support presidencies. Like, I never cared for, Blacks for Trump, right? I never cared for this Latinas for Trump. I never even cared for the name, white men for Biden, Trump, black men for Biden, white women, black women for Biden. Me personally, there's either like, hey, look, men for this president, women for this president. That's just me personally. Now, I understand the strategy behind it, because it's like, oh, when you see these different groups, that all those communities, they have numbers behind that. So when they see that, they're like, oh, I can stand behind this guy. Because there were a larger percentage of individuals, there's a larger percentage of Hispanics voters that this past presidential election that voted for Trump. There was an increase in black voters that voted for Trump. So I get it, but I'll be honest, I never cared for it. She also served as a spokesperson for the Department of Homeland Security during the Trump's first term. Now, throughout his 2024 campaign, Trump promised to combat what he called an invasive of undocumented immigrants who are poisoning the blood of our country. They're poisoning the blood of our country, relying on the stories of violent crime to support a brutal crackdown that could impact millions of families. Now, before we jet, I would like to give you a quick percentage of the statistics happening in California, because I mentioned about these the protests, right? So let me go ahead and see. Okay, so in the city of Los Angeles, about 47.2% of the population identifies as Hispanic or Latino. Total population 3.8 million. Estimated Hispanic population 1.8 million. Now, Los Angeles County is about 0.6% of the population is Hispanic. Now, total of 9.7 million. Estimated Hispanic population 4.7 million. Now, in Los Angeles County, there is an estimate of around 68 to 70% of I'm sorry, let me take that back. There's an estimate of 880,000 to 1 million undocumented immigrants total. Nationally, about 68 to 70% of undocumented immigrants are from Latin America, most commonly Mexico and Central America. So those are just a little bit of statistics I want to share in regards to why this is really hitting home and hitting hard in California and Los Angeles. But y'all, I'm looking at my time. I gotta close it, but I will continue this on our Substack, on our social media, and we will continue the conversation on the next show, because it's a lot that I want to discuss here with this. But it's you know, you kind of want to say, I told you so. And I've always been that person to say, I never understood the attraction, especially, you know, I'm sorry, but if those were those that were of, you know, Hispanic and Latinos that has stood by Trump, that has voted for him, thinking that he was going to be, you know, the almighty savior. I don't see it. I don't see it. I got nothing against the fact that if he, you know, the name, the letter in front of his name, but it's him. It's him. It's him. It's him. I never understood it, y'all. Still to this day, I don't understand it. I really don't. But I'll tell you what, though, we gonna keep on talking about it here on the Arrington Gavin Show, because there's so much stuff I can talk. I had to vent today. I kind of vented a little too long on one of the convos, but y'all continue to support the show. Tune in Monday through Fridays, available on all digital streaming platforms as well as radio airwaves. I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace and blessings. I'm out.
That's it for tonight on the Arrington Gavin Show. Thanks for tapping in and keeping the conversation alive. Don't forget, stay connected with us on all platforms. Follow at Arrington Gavin on Instagram, Blue Sky, and X, and subscribe to the official Substack for exclusive takes and deep dives you won't get anywhere else. We're here every weeknight, same time, same energy, same real talk. Until next time, stay bold, stay sharp, and stay true. That's what we do on the Arrington Gavin Show. Peace.